Y'all know I'm big on calling out how men always, like, constantly project the things that men do, right? Things that we all know, like, men do that, right? Like, let's say, like, violence, right? Like, that's something that men will be like, they'll be like, oh, everybody's violent. And then I'll be like, but like 98% of all violence in the world is committed by men. 85% of all violence in America is committed by men. How is that like we're all violent? Well, where are you getting that from? You know what I'm saying? They'll either try to act like we all do it, like men and women both do it at around the same clip, or they'll just flat out lie and just say things that like we all objectively know men do more than women, and be like, no, that's what women do. Like it had like I'm sure it's been studied, but I need to see this. I need to see the findings on this because it's fucking crazy.
It's kind of wild that so many common phrases used to shame women actually just indicate the failures of men. So if you think about it, daddy issues is made to feel like the girl can't even keep her father around when really it's that he abandoned her or mistreated her. A single
Also, also men say that they like women who have daddy issues, but then they will shame women for having daddy issues. Like, what? And the reason why they feel like they want a woman with daddy issues is because women with daddy issues, they think, are easier to manipulate and control. Like, it's all sick. It's all sick. All of it's sick, right? Like, no part of that is like, no, that's fair. Like, every part of it is like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Disgusting.
abandoned her or mistreated her. A single mom, a man left his partner and all of the responsibilities of their child, but she stuck around, handles it all by herself, and yet is shamed for it.
Literally, a single mother or single mothers, men go around all day long shaming single mothers, right? And we all know that men are just shaming single mothers so that they can lower her. They want to lower her stock, right? The stock she has in herself, because she thinks she's up here. She thinks she's worth this much, right? But the men want her. They want to buy her around here. So they're like, how do we get her to come down here? We could buy her. Like, oh, I know. Single mothers, they for recreation. Like that dude from No Fugazi, Cooley, that weird motherfucker. Oh, you know, women are single mothers are for recreation. Nobody really takes single mothers seriously. Yeah, the whole time they're like, you know what I mean? Fingers crossed behind their back. Like nobody takes single mothers seriously. They're for recreation. Like, shut the fuck up. You want that woman. She hasn't lost her value at all. Single mothers are like Jeep Wranglers. They're like Toyota Tacomas. Like they don't lose value, buddy. They don't lose value. They're worth their weight in gold. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, okay, they're not as expensive as a new car. Fine. But relatively speaking, they are worth fucking every penny. Like people want those cars. People want those vehicles for a reason, right? People want single women, single mothers for a reason. Single mothers don't lose, like they don't lose value. They don't. Men just lie and say that they do. Men just lie and say that they do, but they don't lose value. You just think that they should because she has children and you think that she's vulnerable. Once again, men want to play on women's vulnerabilities. Same thing with the daddy issues. They're just hoping that like, oh, she's vulnerable. She has children. Let me swoop in and take advantage. Like, what the fuck? No. That woman is just as valuable as she always has been. And shout out to Shan. Y'all know my girl Shan. Shan says, y'all go look her up on YouTube. Go look shenanigans up on TikTok. But Shan talked about, I remember she did like a whole live on this one day, and she was talking about how like single mother standards should be even higher than single women without children. And I was like, I completely understand and agree with that. That's logical, right? Like, why would a single mother lower her standards? But like, When it was just her, she could be more risky. She could date the guy with the leather jacket and the Harley, you know, whatever image you have of a bad boy, and be like, I can change him. I can tame him, you know, whatever. That's fine. When you got kids, you want to bring that guy around your kids? Probably not. So her standards are they're typically going to be higher. And men hate that. They hate that. It's not about how much the woman is worth. It's about how high her standards are, because she's still worth the same. She's still worth her weight in gold, just like damn near every woman is to a man, right? It's how can we get her to lower her standards?
Is shamed for it. A psycho ex, a woman reacting to being mistreated, is made out to be irrational. A trophy wife.
The psycho ex thing is crazy. That's that whole like, oh, women, why you always bringing baggage in from your other relationships and yada, yada, yada. That's not baggage. Those are lessons. Like, what are you talking about? That's not baggage. That's a lesson. I brought in lessons that I've learned from my last relationship. Yeah, who doesn't? Who wants to keep paying for the same mistakes over and over and over again? That's wild. And then you turn around and blame women for being in relationships with abusive men. Like, you should have saw the signs. Okay, how do you expect somebody to clock narcissistic behavior or narcissistic abuse? They don't have any knowledge of it. You're talking about a 19, a 20, a 25-year-old woman, right? Young. Never been in a relationship with a man, not really ever committed. You know what I'm saying? She's in a relationship with a man. She encounters narcissistic abuse. How would she know it was happening to her? She wouldn't. That's at 25. She's healed up now. She's 30. She's 28. She's in another relationship. She spots the same narcissistic behavior in her new boyfriend. Doesn't mean he's a narc or he's going to become abusive, but there's tendencies, and she recognizes some of the tendencies. She's like, wait, I don't like that. And she clocks him on it. Imagine him being like, which is what men do. Oh, I'm not like your ex. And da 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 da. Well, then stop being like him. Stop being like him. I'm not saying that in all of these scenarios, the women are correct. I'm not saying that sometimes she doesn't see shadows where there aren't any. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the vast majority of the time, she is just clocking problematic behavior. Once again, doesn't mean that the man is actually a narc. It doesn't actually mean that the man will abuse her. That's not what I think it is in every scenario. But men don't ever want to take any accountability. The original abuser definitely doesn't want to take accountability, and the new man doesn't want to take accountability for his own problematic behavior, which is a narcissistic tendency, by the way. That's what I'm saying.
Made out to be irrational. A trophy wife, somebody who is objectified and only valued by her looks, when really it says more about the guy who chose her because of that. Or bad taste in men. A woman.
So that's the gold digger. That would be AKA the gold digger trope, right? Trophy wives are gold diggers. They're pretty much the same person, right? The men who shame trophy wives are typically the men who can't afford a trophy wife. The men who shame gold diggers are typically the men who can't get a gold digger, who don't even come in proximity with a gold digger, right? Then the man who can't afford the man who can't afford the gold digger and go and afford the trophy wife, he then gets a trophy wife and abuses her and treats her like a trophy, like an object. He treats her like an object. I wonder if there's any correlation between objectifying a woman and abusing her. Huh, right? And then we created this whole system where women are at a disadvantage in the labor market, right? And even in 2024, women make significantly less money than men. Women have less opportunities than men, and so on and so forth. So if there is a woman that is like, yeah, I just want to be taken care of by a man financially, you understand that. it's sad and it sucks. Like you want to tell her like you can do better, girl, and da da da. But I'm also not in a place to tell her that. I don't think anybody is. I don't even think other women are in a place to tell her that. If she don't look, man, because the women that would tell her that they also have been abused. So what can they say? Broke women getting abused, middle class women getting abused, rich women getting abused. Everybody needs to shut the fuck up and mind their business when it comes to me, when it comes to talking to women about this stuff. It ain't about that. It's about men adjusting our behavior. It's about men adjusting our behavior, and it's about changing the systemic problems that create these situations in the first place.
Because of that, or bad taste in men. A woman is criticized for choosing partners that harm or fail her when really the fault lies in the behavior of the person doing it.
I ain't got nothing to say on that one. Choosing bad men, that's the whole she should have chose better, which is when you blame the victim, it's just victim blaming repackaged into something else. That's all it is. I love that breakdown. That was beautiful, beautifully done. Love that. The young lady did a great job.